Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have a very interesting article here and I think it's just going to exemplify how things are perceived from only one side. If you don't look at both sides, you don't, or as many sides as you could use to look at an issue, you will actually be, depriving yourself from knowing the truth or getting closer to the truth. So as I said before, if you look at this phone from this angle and ask you how is a phone, what's a phone, you tell me, well, there's a something, I don't know, like long and black for about 3 inches, 4 inches long, or 15 centimeters or so, and that's it. Round here shaped, and that's it. But if I show someone else, okay, how is a phone, what's a phone? Oh, it's something like rectangular, black, you have something here, give more details. Now if this guy who saw this one and this guy who saw this one, they meet and they talk about the phone, they will contradict one another, because they say, no, the phone is like this. And the other one say, no, the phone is like this. Why? Because they didn't bother to look at it from as many angles as possible. So that's why you have these people telling you, these people, mass media and politicians, weasels, telling you about an issue just from this angle, and you have the other side telling you the same issue from this angle. And there's many ways to look at it, like this, like this, like this, from the other side, and so on. So that's why many angles, you understand how this is. You can also touch it and go in it and figure out what's a phone. So in this case, we have an article from the Telegraph from September 5th, 2022, and this is the title. Russia demands sanctions are lifted before it resumes gas supplies. Oh, that's very tough, right? Russia demands sanctions are lifted before it resumes gas supplies. So that's kind of like, you do this, I do this, I don't do this, I don't this. So try to put pressure, blackmail, threats, however you want to call it. Or they try to fix something that maybe it's not fixed. Let's see what these guys are saying about the issue. Remember, what I'm reading right now is what James Warrington typed on his little computer or laptop here, okay? So James says this: Russia won't resume gas supplies to Europe until Western sanctions are lifted. The Kremlin has warned. I would like, as you, to see what exactly the Kremlin said, like a translation, as much as I can, an accurate translation from Russian into English, so I can see what the weasels over there said about the weasels over here and about the issue at hand. Dmitry Peskov, Kremlin spokesman, blamed the quote-unquote collective West for its decision to shut down flows through the crucial Nord Stream pipeline. Okay. And this is, he told the Interfax news agency, and I'm quoting, the problems pumping gas came about because of the sanctions Western countries introduced against our country and several companies. Is that because you can't fix the turbines, I'm guessing? Because, what else could be? And I'm quoting, there are no other reasons that could have caused this pumping problem. Such a weird Peskov, don't you think? It marks Russia's clearest admission to date that its cuts to energy supplies are a retaliation against Western sanctions rather than the result of technical faults, as it previously claimed. So let's see. The problems pumping gas, this is what this guy says, and this is the interpretation of James, right? James. Not James Brown, but James. So the problems with pumping gas came about because of the sanctions Western companies introduced against our country and several companies. Now, is it Siemens, one of the companies he refers to? Gazprom? Is it Russia as a country? All this together, I think. I don't think he says because our country. Okay, I'm not going to go deeper in that. There are no other reasons that could have caused this pumping problem. Well, I don't know about that. So we should remember what the problem supposedly is. The first one, they said the Western countries, okay, so this is this. The Western countries say, okay, we're going to impose sanctions on you because we don't like what you do with your own thing with another country. between you two guys that we have nothing to do with. So we introduce ourselves and we want to harm you. So we harm you without you harming me. However you want to take it, if between Ukraine and Russia would not have harmed Germany, wouldn't? Or France. But you can extrapolate and say, yeah, actually, yeah, this is the Russians. Well, NATO is, right, Germany, France, no, France I think is still in NATO, isn't it? And other countries in Europe. Well, you bring NATO in Ukraine and you arm them, that's a threat to us. So you already are involved there. So you see, you can find the unprovoked attack one maybe justification out of many that I can tell about killing people over there, the Russian population. So this is how it goes. You introduce yourself, insert yourself in my business with Ukraine, and then you put sanctions on me. You want to hurt me. What do you expect me to do? Take it like a... That's what you want me to do? Well, guess what? I can retaliate. And how am I going to retaliate? I'm going to shut it off. If that would have been from the very beginning, everything would be nice, and it would not be, Russia retaliates. Yes, I retaliate. And that's what it is. Now, let's say what happens here. Let's see. They say, well, the sanctions are only for gas pipe, Nord Stream pipe 2, not for the one. Why? It's like you have 5 criminals or 5 rapists, and you just say, well, only that rapist that one cannot come to my house where I have children, but the other 4 can come. Well, if I'm against rapists and pedophiles, then I should ban all 5 of them from coming to my house. I will say, no, I will let the other 4 because they're funny and my children like to play with them. But the 5th one is a bit rude. So it's not about being pedophiles, it's about being rude or not rude. And my children like it because my own interest dictates. Is that how it is? So I'm not going to use the Nord Stream 2, one pedophile, but I'm going to use Nord Stream 1, the other 4 pedophiles. Isn't that... What was the reason for not even opening Nord Stream 2? The same one for not opening Nord Stream 1. But they pick and choose. Why? Because they need gas, still, they need those 4 pedophiles to entertain my children, right? But the other one was not funny. So I bump him out. I'm not about pedophilia here, right? I'm about, the guys are funny or not funny. So you understand the whole situation? They pick and choose. And those guys should not retaliate whatsoever. In this case, the pedophiles are obviously guilty and, all that. It's a bad thing. And the thing with Russia, Russia was not doing anything to Europe. Unless Europe started, oh my God, you guys gonna attack us. And Russia can say, no, that's not true. You guys attacked me. You could attack me by bringing NATO in Ukraine. So you see how it goes? Then let's say the objective thing that would be, let's take it in an objective way. So Russia said, okay, we can't pump because there are some issues. Issues with what? With a turbine, right? Now they say, oh, it's not only one, there are 5 turbines. Okay, well, they sent them to Canada. Canada did not want to do it because of the sanctions. So that's postponing. They had to turn it, lower because they couldn't, supposedly technical. Then now they brought the turbine. I don't know where the turbine is. Is it in Russia yet or is it still in Germany because of the sanctions? I don't even know where that is. I couldn't find out. And then there's other problems. Say, well, there's some leaks. There's maintenance. You have to do maintenance to any equipment. You have to do maintenance. And if you don't do it now, you do it in 3 months. When it's freezing outside? That's how you do it? No, you do it in the summer. So it's kind of logical. It's a coincidence. You can say so. Is it planned? You can say so. So and then this was what bothers me. Just say it. Yes, this is a retaliation for you guys imposing sanctions. And it's a war, because it's a war, but they use euphemisms. It's sanctions, we ban you from this, but we allow you here. You can sell your oil, we put an oil cap. What is that? What is that? It's like I'm a producer of, let's say, tomatoes, and I'm upset with the neighbor, and I'm gonna go to the marketplace to sell my tomatoes. When I get over there, I find out that actually the city council or the association of my neighborhood said, no, Emil, you can't sell your tomatoes here. Why? Because you have a problem with the neighbor. Oh, what do you mean? And you guys decided that you decided I cannot have a living? To do what? with my problem with the neighbor. And besides, here, this is not the city that I'm talking about, the Western countries. It would be United Nations. It shouldn't be Europe or NATO. NATO is not a city. It's just like a private police department. NATO, private, that belongs to a certain kind of neighbor that owns it. Okay, in the European Union, there are like 3 houses that are in a community, in an association, in the neighborhood or in the city. So it's not even United Nations. United Nations should go back to Iraq and visit Syria and visit Libya and Afghanistan and Yugoslavia bombardment. And after that, we're talking how much they had against those illegal attacks. None. So, you know what I mean? So they don't let me sell my things, and I should not retaliate against those people who don't let me, like the private police department and those 3 houses. They say, no, you can't sell on the market. Okay, I'm not going to sell it to you. That's fine, but can I sell to other ones? No, because they're going to put pressure on everybody else, threats and blackmail, that if you buy Emily's tomatoes, we're going to fix you. So then we are not at war? We are at war. So next time when you drive or you go around my sidewalk, I will say, no, you pay a fine. You pay a fine here for if you want to pass. Why? Because it's my sidewalk. You know, legally it's not mine. But I'm just saying. What are you going to do? So yeah, it's a war. So here, I don't understand what the hullabaloo is. Yes, it was never about that. So what? Yeah, it was never about that. But you justify your sanctions as being moral? Somehow? How? How your sanctions are good, but my counter measures are bad. From my perspective, this is your perspective. From my perspective, you hurt me, and you wanted to hurt me with NATO in Ukraine, and I had to interact for my own safety. And I asked for many times to figure things out before 2022, and you didn't. You were weasels, and you come with this, and I come with this. How are we going to solve the problem? And you tell me you retaliate. Well, that's what you did. Unless you think you're on the right side, which they think, and the other ones think, no, we are on the right side. So we are on the right side. That's how the phone looks. And the other ones, no, this is the way the phone looks. So how can you make it? How about coming together in good faith? That's the thing. Not in bad faith. Good faith. And take this and say, okay, let's look at it. Okay, let's see how now we can write a definition of what a phone is. But they don't do that. They tried that. The Russians tried that. When? Before 2022. When they said, we want international documents signed that you guys will respect our sovereignty. And they didn't want to sign it. They didn't want to hear about it. Why? Because they didn't want to respect it, obviously. And they say, oh, Ukraine's sovereignty should be respected. What about the Russians? No, Russians, no, because too strong. Russia has to be, as I said, pants down, bent over, and everybody take a ticket, and you're next, and you're next, and you're next. Like since between 1991 and 1999 or 2000. That's how Russia was. Right there, kneeled, four-legged, and you know what occurs after that. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.